now on to the next section, the last section of chapter 7. So we'll be due, next Wednesday or after, 24th or after. But again, like I say, out to those folks who haven't handed in most of their homework, please start getting it into me because time is drawing short. We proceed. We shift a conic over h and up k by replacing x by x minus h and y by y minus k. When you do that, the center of the conic goes from 0 to 0, 0 by 0 to h by k. And then the vertices and foci and asymptotes shift accordingly. So for example, here we have x minus h all squared over a squared plus y minus k all squared over b squared equals 1. All right, it has a center h by k. And this is an ellipse. You go plus and minus a on the x-axis, h plus minus a by k for a vertex. This should be a b squared, my error. I shall be, I should change that. Just a second. 7, 4, 1. I'll have to change that at least. B squared. All right. So it should be a b squared, but then it's the vertices there will be h by k plus and minus b. So we have an ellipse here. We shift it over k and up, over h and up k like this. Here we have a parabola. X minus h squared equals 4p times y minus k. Again, the vertex, the bottom, will be at h by k over h up k. The focus will be h by k plus p right here. Directrix will y equals k minus p here. Here we have a hyperbola. This is a kind of a cruddy diagram, my apologies. Anyhow, x minus h squared over a squared minus y minus k squared over b squared equals 1. The x term is in front, so it's a horizontal transverse axis. Center is h by k. Vertex is h plus or minus a by k, here and here. And it's asymptotes. Well, you just put an x and I really think that should be a y minus k equals. This probably should be changed. Should do a y minus k x minus h to y minus k equals plus or minus b over a x minus h. Sorry, I'll be changing this in the canvas as well. All right, here we have x squared over 9 plus y plus 5 squared over 25 equals 1. Find center, vertices, foci, and graph. Okay, we'll write this as x minus 0 squared over 3 squared plus, write this y plus 5 is y minus a negative 5. Square that over 5 squared equals 1. All right, so we can read off that the center is 0 by negative 5. For the vertices, you go plus and minus 3 in the x direction, minus 3 by negative 5, 3 by negative 5. You go plus and minus 5 in the y direction, so 0 by 0 and 0 by negative 10. And you can figure out h is equal to, c is equal to 4, so you go plus and minus 4 from here. So 0 by 0, 0 by negative 10, 3 by negative 5, negative 3 by negative 5, and 0 by negative 1, and 0 by negative 9, and this is the resulting ellipse. Here we have vertex, focus, directrix, and graph of 2 times x minus h squared equals y. So, right, this is y minus 0 is 4 times a half of x minus 1. Vertex is at 1 by 0, right there. P is a half, so you go up a half to 0 by 1 by 1 and 1 by a half for the focus. Go down a half to y equals negative 1 for the directrix, and here is the graph. Find center, foci, vertices, and asymptotes and graph of y squared minus x plus 1 squared over 4 equals 1. So you have a difference of squares, that'll be a hyperbola. Right, this is y minus 0 squared over 1 squared for this term, minus x minus negative 1 squared over 2 squared. All right, we read off the center, negative 1 by 0 right here. The vertical, it's a vertical transverse axis. So you go plus or minus 1 from there. -1 by 0, plus or minus 1. -1 by -1 here. -1 by +1 here. Distance to the foci is root of 1 squared plus 2 squared. That's root 5. So -1 by root 5 and -1 by minus root 5. Asymptotes will be y equals 1/2 of x plus 1 here and here. And here we have, go the other way around, given the graph, find the equation. Okay, first of all, it's an ellipse, so it'll be a square plus square equals 1. 0 to 10, well, the center is 5 by 0, so it'll be an x minus 5 and a y minus 0. Vertices are plus or minus 5 from there. 5 by 0 by 0 and 10 by 0. And 5 by 4 and 5 by -4. Focus is at 8, 0. This value for B here we can get from the plus 5 here and the 8 for C. Let that be. So right, so x minus 5 squared over a squared. C is 8 minus 5, which is 3. So 3 squared is equal a squared minus b squared. That's 5 minus 4 squared as befits. So the vertices will be at 5 plus or minus 5 by 0. 0. This is miswritten. I have to rewrite that. 6. 5 plus or minus 5, 0 plus or minus 4. That's really kind of clumsy. I should say 5 plus or minus 5 by 0 and 5 plus or minus 4. This is mistaken, but whatever. A is 5, B is 4. So x minus 5 squared over 5 squared plus y squared minus y minus 0 squared over 4 squared equals 1. So you can rewrite that as x minus 5 squared over 25 plus y squared over 16 equals 1. And that concludes shifting the conic sections.